The White House is getting called out on shocking allegations of child sex abuse at a migrant center in Texas. And the governor of the state of Texas is pushing for a federal investigation. I'm Harris Faulkner, and you are in the Faulkner Focus. Governor Greg Abbott says the White House has to close a San Antonio facility. Abbott says he is receiving tips that migrant children were sexually assaulted there, and there is insufficient food at the facility, among other allegations of abuse. Governor Abbott says President Biden's policies are fueling this horror.
These problems are a byproduct of President Biden's open border policies. This facility is a health and safety nightmare. The Biden administration is now presiding over the abuse of children. To end this abuse, the Biden administration must immediately shut down this facility.
And then there's this. An Arizona border chief has released this stunning photo showing more than 130 migrants apprehended at the border as the surge shows no signs of slowing down. In focus now, Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich. Attorney General, thank you for being on the program.
Harris, yes. Thank you for having me, Harris.
I want to start off with what you need to do next in the state of Texas, because when you hear the governor, you two work in concert, I would imagine together, you're the legal arm of that. What needs to be communicated? How is it being communicated to the White House?
Well, I think the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, has done but the governor of Texas has done a great job. And I think that he's actually trying to do something. And, you know, there's kind of a running joke that when Governor Abbott does something, some of the other governors will at least say the right thing a week later. And so I think it's important. I can only control what I can do. As you know, Harris, I have multiple lawsuits right now. We have a hearing today in federal court trying to reinstitute the deportation policy. There's 1.2 million people here that are scheduled for deportation. Biden administration halted that. We know that the Biden administration has incentivized people coming here by getting rid of the public charge rule. We want to make sure that that is defended, that's in place, so people aren't getting, you know, child care and Medicare and other public health benefits the taxpayers paid for. But I think it's important to draw attention to these issues, because what is happening on the border is a crisis right now, but it is about to become a preventable tragedy. This is something the Biden administration set in motion with all of their various policies. They've eliminated the Remain in Mexico policy, so they've encouraged people to come here. They've incentivized it. They're decriminalizing it. And we know that there's actually criminal gang members and even Middle Eastern terrorists coming into our country.
Yeah, and there are facts with that now. I mean, this is not just, you know, a point of opinion that someone thought that they could debate at one point from the administration. There are numbers and video and pictures. Speaking of which, new numbers from the HHS and DHS now, Attorney General Brnovich, are showing an eye-popping 20,000 plus child migrants in federal custody. And nearly 19,000 unaccompanied children were encountered on the border in just March. That's a 100% increase from February. And the Biden administration officials now report that 172,000 people in total attempted to cross the border in March, and that's a 71% increase from February. Most of them single adults. Tell me what is happening to let those numbers increase so quickly.
Well, the Biden administration has essentially signaled an open door. And, you know, you mentioned, you know, the politics and everything else going on. I keep telling folks, this isn't an issue of right versus left. It's an issue of right versus wrong. And this may be in our front yard today, but it'll be in everyone's backyard tomorrow. And you mentioned that number of 174,000. Just to put that in context, I mean, that's the entire population of a city like Tempe that, you know, hosts the Fiesta Bowl every year. It's the size of Syracuse, bigger than Syracuse, New York. So we are seeing the system overwhelmed. And we know that along with people that are on the terrorist watch list that have come in, I know that there's also folks from other Middle Eastern countries that have come in. And it is unsustainable. And indeed, there will be a tragedy at some point. I mean, just look at the basic numbers. I know in Pinal County, the sheriff, we have a hearing today, and he's got an affidavit, a declaration in the hearing that more than 50% of the people that they have in custody now are recidivists. They are people that have been charged with crimes like assault and robbery, felony drug